All right, guys, just finished watching season 2, episode 2 of Chucky. How are you liking this season so far? How does it compare to season 1 for you? Because I'm actually enjoying it more than the first season. I'm really starting to take to these new young characters, and boy, am I enjoying this new setting at the Catholic school. As somebody that had to go to a private Christian school for a couple years in my childhood, this is really striking some personal chords, and I feel for these children, especially because Chucky's running amok in this dark setting that feels bleak, it feels oppressive, and it really elicits 70s horror. Think The Omen, and I am loving that as a horror head. But as always, I watched this episode and came away with 5 burning questions that I cannot wait to see get answered in episode 3. So here you go. These are the 5 biggest takeaways for me, the most pressing questions that are on my mind after episode 2. First question, what do you make of the bully and his nice guy routine? Last week I told you I could not wait to meet this bully because Lexi made him out to be a monster. She really put the blame on him for her becoming the mean girl that we knew in season 1. And then he shows up and he's just kind of grinning ear to ear and doing the nice guy routine, coming off almost as if he's a politician, just there to shake hands and be cordial. And I'm just not buying it. I know this type. I've been to schools like this. I know these individuals. They can be nasty behind your back, but they'll come up to your face and give you all the niceties in the world. I'm just not buying it. I think he's manipulating her. I think Homeboy is playing games, and I think Lexi is really up against it, guys. Maybe more than any of the other protagonists because she's dealing with her drug addiction. She's dealing with one Chucky at least. There's going to be multiple, I'm sure, at some point in this school. And now she's got a bully from her past who's kind of warping her mind and probably out to get her. I do not think this is over. I think that things are going to come to a head and there's going to be some sort of conflict at the worst possible time for Lexi because of this bully. And speaking of the bully, what do you make of this Nadine character? Because let's flash back real quick to season 1. We had Miss Fairchild, and all of us were like, oh, she's involved with Chucky somehow. Look at the dark red curly hair. And she has a criminal history. What's going on there? Why is she so interested in Jake? And then nothing really became of it, at least not to this point. Now we have Nadine, again, red curly hair, a sordid background. And we know she likes to steal, or at least that's her reasoning behind having a Chucky doll behind her bed, which she calls the most valuable possession or her biggest theft, you know? So that could be the case, or she could be in on it. She could be Glenn because Glenn, peed the bed. We know that Nadine is peeing the bed. And now she has Chucky in place to do what he has to do so he can snap a picture of Lexi. She seems like she could be in on the plan. Like she is a spy for Chucky. He has this masterminding plan going on and she could be just another cog in it. I don't think we're subverting expectations this time. I think she's going to seem like a new part of the cadre, that she's going to be, a part of this quartet now, one of the good guys. And I think at the end of the season, we're going to find out that all along she's been orchestrating and helping out Chucky. Now, last week I talked about wanting to see something from Nika, that she was my second favorite character, only behind Chucky, and I couldn't wait to see what was going on with her. Well, we got to see what was going on with her. Homegirl is struggling, and she's getting bitter, and she's starting to make compromises within her soul because something has got to give. She has had enough of Tiffany, and she is living in a private hell. So she's willing to journey into the sanctity of her own mind to banter back and forth with Chucky, which was a really neat scene. I like how they brought that to life and how you could see her one moment with a ball gag and then just kind of turn slightly and all of a sudden the ball gag is gone and then boom, there's Chucky. I like that because she has this kind of fractured psyche and it's cool to see them play off of each other. And she doesn't want to make this deal with the devil, but she absolutely has to get out of this predicament because she is so badly handicapped. Man, Nika is a tortured character, but the fact that she's kind of turning towards more malevolence and is willing to take risk and do things that she wouldn't have in the past because of her predicament, that is interesting. She may not just be a straight up, clean, puerile, good guy character. She may be a little bit more gray now, and those characters are always more interesting, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen, especially with Glenn and Glenda coming into the fold, because I tend to believe that Glenn may be sympathetic to her position. Glenda's probably going to land on the side of Tiffany, but Glenn may be willing to try to help Nika find salvation or to find a way out. But how bad are things about to get for Tiffany? We saw her being threatened by Chucky. We know that Nika and Chucky may have a slight alliance going. We know Chucky has the numbers. We know Glenn and Glenda are going to find Nika. And as I'm posing, Glenn may help her out. We also know the detective came and was sniffing around and was pursuing Nika and knew that Tiffany was involved, and then she kind of impulsively just decides that she has to off him. But of course, other detectives, other law enforcement are going to know that he was going there. He probably told his compadres, like, hey, I talked to Tiffany Valentine, and man, was it a weird exchange. Something's off. Something doesn't smell right. And so they're going to be coming for her. And we know that funds are running out anyway. Nika kind of pressed her about that. So the clock is ticking. The heat is rising on Tiffany. Something has got to give. She's going to start cracking here soon. And where is that going to take us? Where is she going to flee to? What is going to happen? How is she going to lash out? What is she going to do to Chucky? What is she going to do to Nika? This little plot line is really getting intriguing. And my last question is, what the hell is Chucky's plan? This seems like a huge plan involving all sorts of different parts, all sorts of different settings, all sorts of different timing. Like, there's a lot going on here. This is a master plan. They are really utilizing him having a small army of himself, and that he has these expendables that he can go out and give different designations, like we saw the scout. And I love that they have him kind of bound to the chair and gagged, and that he's their hostage and they're going to be interrogating him. I love where we are going in this season. This is really interesting stuff, and I cannot put together yet what this plan is. Be sure to comment your ideas down below. We see him taking the pictures. We see him doing the reconnaissance. We see him passing up on possible kill shots. What is he looking to do with these pictures? Is he trying to do a frame job? Is he building a case against these people, trying to find a reason to have them maybe kicked out of the school or put in some sort of punishment program to where they're going to be put into isolation and made all the more vulnerable? What is happening? I need to know your fan theories down below. What is Chucky's plan? Please let me know. Please hit like, please comment, please subscribe, all that good old YouTube, yada, yada, yada. But you know what? Not every YouTube creator asks you to do that I'm going to ask you to have yourself a great day. I'm Nate for Nate Flick saying that's a wrap.